remember to stay hydrated. And today we're going to be checking out the brand new Civivi Chevalier. I'm really excited to show you guys what this thing is all about and give you my full impressions. Let's get it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Minimalist. My name is Brandon and I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're going to be chatting about the brand new Civivi Chevalier. Now, I've had this knife in my pockets for about a week now and I'm ready to give you guys my full impressions. Civivi did send this out to me for review, so I want to thank those guys over at Civivi, but I am not limited to say any positives or negatives about the knife, so I'm just going to be 100% transparent with you. Now, if you're interested in purchasing this knife specifically, I will be leaving a Civivi affiliate link in the description below along with the drop date and a discount code. So this knife is going to be going for 70 to 80 bucks depending on where you purchase it. There are a few things I wanted to address with that price point, but we'll do that later in this video. Now, I believe Civivi is going to be dropping 4 different variants total just straight off the bat. The first one's going to have G10 or black G10 scales and a stonewash blade, and then there's going to be 2 Caborsha wood options very similar to the Altis. As a matter of fact, I think it's the same exact material. One's going to have a Damascus blade and then one's gonna have a stonewash blade. Now that we've got all that stuff put away, let's give you guys a quick size comparison. Here is the Chevalier next to the Benchmade Bug Out. The Bug Out is gonna be about a 1/4 inch smaller in total length and then about the same size in total width. The Bug Out is gonna be quite a bit skinnier. I don't even know how to explain that. You're probably looking at like a 1/4 of an inch, basically an extra scale on top with the Chevalier. And of course, we gotta show you the Chevalier next to the Altis. So the Altis is gonna be quite a bit smaller in total length and width. And yeah, the Altis is still a fantastic knife. It's just, you know, this thing is kind of gunning towards the next knife we're gonna do a size comparison on. And that would be, of course, the ProTech Malibu. I feel like this is direct shots fired to the Malibu, but at half the cost, if not less than that. In terms of total length, the Malibu is gonna be just a tad smaller than the Chevalier. And then in terms of total width, you're looking at about the same. Now, of course, in thickness, the Chevalier is gonna be thicker than the Malibu, but I think that's just because this thing does have micarta scales. Moving over to the pocket clip, Civivi did include their standard deep carry clip. This is going to be a tip up carry only, but it is ambidextrous, so you can swap the clip over if you are a lefty. Let's quickly talk about what makes this thing kind of special. That's going to be the button lock locking mechanism. So this thing is really fidget friendly. Civivi did also apply a fuller here at the top. It's kind of like a nail nick. That's going to be on the show side and locking side, but that actually makes it so you can do a reverse flick. If you really just bear down on it, you can do a thumb flick as well. Of course, you've got the flipper tab. That's kind of like the intended use. Civivi did decide to go with a sheep's foot style blade. This blade is made of 14C 28N blade steel, and it's not too bad, but that just kind of segues me into my next segment. What are the negatives and the positives of this knife? Let's start off with the negatives and then we'll get into the positives. So first off, with this knife being at $70, I would expect a better blade steel, especially with knives like the Civivi Altis. This thing has Nitro V. The Conspirator also is made with Nitro V. I would just expect it to have Nitro V. And so far with Civivi's heat treats and everything, the use that I've gotten out of Nitro V, that's probably my most favorite blade steel they've used to date. It does get the job done and it does cut pretty well. The next gripe I have about this knife is going to be the overall build quality. This actually feels very similar to the Altis, but maybe down one notch in terms of actual quality in hand. You know, when you go to pick up like a ProTech Malibu, this thing just feels robust. Feels like you're carrying something that your life can depend on. Whereas with the Chevalier, I mean, it's kind of there, it's kind of not. It might be the fact that this micarta isn't super high end. Of course, they're going to be mass manufacturing these things, but you know, if they could just do a little bit better with their micarta, it would be great. I felt this type of micarta in their Sen cut knives, and that's going to be quite a bit lower end. But again, maybe this thing just needs to get oiled or something. I don't know. Now, the next gripe I have about this is going to be the overall blade shape. I'm not a huge fan of this sheep's foot blade just because it's super long and sleek. I think if they went with the reverse Tonto blade shape on this specific unit, they would do a little bit better. Very similar to the ProTech Malibu. I mean, like seriously, if they literally just went with a reverse Tonto blade, then it would be a direct blow to the Malibu. In terms of action, it feels very very similar to the Altis. It just kind of feels a little bit more mushy, not the same as the Malibu. I can guarantee you guys that. But yeah, those are like the only gripes I have about this specific knives. Let's talk about the positives. In terms of the positives, this thing is actually a pretty decent knife. It slips into the pocket really well with this deep carry pocket clip. It is insanely fidget friendly. Like I could literally do this all day long. You can deploy it with the flipper tab. You can do it with the reverse flick. If you want to do the thumb flip, if you want to do it with the button lock, it is really easy and fun to fidget with. If you can't find a ProTech Malibu, then this is probably the one that you want to go for, aside from the Civivi Conspirator, which we'll be doing in a very soon video. The next positive I have for this knife is it's extremely ergonomic. It fits in my hands really well. I can fit all 4 fingers on there. You've got some jimping here up top, so you can really get into those cuts. And then in terms of cutting performance, it's actually been super solid. I have nothing against 14C28N steel, but I just like Civivi's Nitro V, to be completely honest with you guys. Overall, this knife is pretty decent. I gotta admit, when I first saw it in photos, I did have very high expectations for it, just because it literally looks like a Malibu. If I set that aside, this is a fantastic Civivi knife. And the biggest question is, who is this knife for? In all honesty, guys, I think this is gonna be for someone that's just getting into the knife scene. Whether you're collecting, if you want to gift this away to someone, or if you wanna experience something similar to the Malibu, but don't have, you know, $200 to $250. Civivi has done really well with this design, and I can still recommend it to you guys. It's a $70 knife, not bad at all. And if Civivi's watching this, maybe think about putting Nitro V in future variants. I know I kept this video super short, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section below. Tell me which variant you guys are really hyped for, and then which variant you don't really like. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreons and for all their support. Thank you guys so much. You're helping me get closer to that full-time goal. If you haven't hit that like button already, throw me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.